Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. I do hope you consider hitting that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Alright guys, I do want to apologize for this late video. Oh my goodness, it was a hectic week. We also had to bury a family friend this week, so I do apologize for the delay, guys. But let's get into this episode of Greenleaf, okay? Season 5, episode 6, called The Sixth Day. All right. So that episode starts off with Bisphop on the phone with an FBI agent because they want to find out why Rochelle is able to roam around freely. So the FBI agent tells Bisphop that Rochelle is no longer a person of interest. Anyway, Lady Mae wants Bisphop to focus on his doctor's appointment, in which he tells her that he's not going, okay? And I was kind of mad at Bisphop for that because he definitely needs to go to the doctor, okay? There's something going on with him. You know, his memory is just all crazy right now, so we need to see what's going on. Anyway, Bisphop says he's going to the club to meet with the city inspector, while Mae meets with Tara again so she can get the chance to explain herself, which I think Lady Mae shouldn't even bother with that. Then, as we know, Grace was standing nearby and she gets a call from Darius, who tells her that somebody broke into his hotel room and stole his phone and laptop. Then he asks Grace if she has the email files, which are photos of escrow files. So Grace says yes and goes to her computer to try to send them to him, but she couldn't because they were being deleted as she spoke to him. So as we can see, Bob Whitmore and his people are going the extra mile to make sure that this Edenville lending thing doesn't get out. Next, Jacob and Carissa are getting ready for their meeting where they're going to tell Winky about the divorce. Carissa lets Jacob know that she doesn't want to bring up custody in front of Winky. Jacob agrees, but tells Carissa that he deserves shared custody. And Carissa says, "You're not going to get it." And at this point, I had to really think, like, why doesn't Carissa want Jacob to have shared custody? Like, what's the big deal? It never looks like Jacob is a bad father, so I never really understood what was her problem. You know, is she being vindictive? That was my thought during this scene, even though we know what happens later on. Next, Zora calls Sofia to the cabin to help her with an audition recording for school. Zora tells Sofia that if her parents can't keep it together, she has no reason to stick around to prove herself to them. And sidebar, since when did Sofia cut her hair? Like, that was quick. Next, Phil's father, Mr. Shabazz, shows up to finally help the Greenleafs. So it looks like they're at Darius's house, and Mr. Shabazz tells them that Bob Whitmore used Edenville lending to target poor black families. These families had balloon mortgages, which means the mortgage continues to go up. So when the families couldn't pay Bob Whitmore and them, they took their houses, okay? So Mr. Shabazz says that Phil's mom was the friendly black lady who arrived at the door, and she made it sound like Edenville lending was all about black folks helping black folks pay their bills. But it was really just one greedy white man bleeding everybody dry. So we have Darius on one side trying to get Mr. Shabazz to go on record. Then we have Charity on the other side trying to get Mr. Shabazz to tell Phil about his mother because she feels like he's not going to believe it just coming from her. So Mr. Shabazz tells Darius that because of his legal situation, he can't go on record, but if they find someone to back his story, he'll confirm. Then when Charity tells him that Phil won't believe the situation about his mom just coming from her, Mr. Shabazz agrees to go talk to Phil. So they all get ready to leave, and before Gigi heads off, Darius stops her and tells her that once they get to the bottom of all this stuff with Bob, they're going to talk about their future. So he says, "Deal?" And Grace says, "Deal." Then he gives her a kiss on the cheek. But I noticed that Grace doesn't look too thrilled about that conversation. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think Grace wants to get back with Darius? For me, I'm not sure. I mean, she smiled at Darius when he was like, you know, we'll talk about our future or whatever. You know, she gave him a nice warm smile, but when she walked away, her face looked uncomfortable. Next, Lady Mae sits down with Tara, and she claims to know nothing about Rochelle working with the FBI. So Lady Mae says, "Yeah, but you called her after your meeting with Jacob." So Tara tells Lady Mae that she had to tell Rochelle about the meeting because if she found out that overtures were being made and she didn't tell her, there would be trouble. I mean, Tara made it sound like Rochelle would have gotten violent with her if she found out Tara was working with the Greenleafs, you know? Anyway, nothing was resolved at this meeting with Lady Mae and Tara. The only thing Tara made clear was that after seeing the house, she really feels like God wants to do something good with it. However, she did say if they can't come to a peaceful agreement, maybe it's not the answer. She also confessed that Rochelle would never let things go. Next, Rochelle shows up at the club and she tells Bishop that nothing good will come to him until he tells the truth about the fire. And to be honest, guys, when she started breaking down how his family is losing everything due to his sins and lies, she was really making a lot of sense. Because I've thought about this before as well, okay? How the Greenleafs are really under attack right now. But, you know, maybe not. Maybe there are some things they need to confess. And because they haven't, it has been blocking their blessings. Still, I don't like Rochelle, but she was making sense. Now, even if Bishop had nothing to do with the fire, there are other sins that he has covered up, okay? And he has not confessed. All right. Next, Grace and Noah are at AJ's doctor's appointment, and we find out that AJ has been pretty cooperative lately. Noah tells Grace that AJ showed a lot of excitement about building the car Bishop told him about. AJ even came out from his visit playfully teasing his parents, telling them he could see how they hooked up. Anyway, Grace told Noah she was happy that he was able to convince AJ to make the doctor's appointment, but she still looked as if something was bothering her. And I think it was that she just feels bad that her and AJ aren't close. Anyway, Noah tells Grace that he found a place for him and AJ not too far from his mom's house. He tells her that she can come stay with them if her parents lose the house. He does make sure that he mentions it's platonic and no strings attached. So she says thank you, and that was it. Next, Jacob and Kerissa go to Zora's cabin to talk her out of moving to New York. So they make a deal that if she gives them a little more time, they can make living arrangements with her cousin who lives in Hoboken. Zora seemed okay with it, but not thrilled. Next, Bishop tells Lady Mae that they are not giving their house to Tara. But Lady Mae just can't give it a rest. She's talking about, I'm trying to find the holy way through this, aren't you? So Bishop says, you want to talk to me about holy? But then Jacob knocks on the door, interrupting them, asking if they could come down to say bye to Carissa and Winky. So they tell Jacob they'll be down in a minute. Once Jacob leaves, Bishop was like, I wasn't finished. You want to talk to me about holiness? You lived a lie for 40 years and you're still living it, telling that boy how to live. Then he says, keep your holy admonitions to yourself. Okay. Bishop was a little testy this episode. I did notice he really wasn't, he wasn't here for nothing. He kind of had a little attitude with Mae in a few scenes. And, I guess that it's warranted. I get it. Because I feel like right now Lady Mae is doing the most a little bit with this whole Tara thing, wanting to give up the house and things like that. And he's frustrated because he's like, you want to talk about sins, but because of your guilty conscience, you want us to give up this house. And that's not fair. So I get it. I get Lady Mae's side and I also get Bishop's side as well. But like I was saying before, Bishop also has some things that he needs to reveal and confess to. And I guess we're going to find out what all those things are next week. Next, Kerissa is packing her things and she tells Jacob that maybe it would have been better if they never met. But Jacob tells her that he's glad they met. If they hadn't, there'd be no Zora or Winky. So Kerissa tells Jacob that he could have shared custody. And I thought that was nice of her. She kind of liked the way he dealt with the whole situation with Zora. And she just felt like he was showing her the man that she always wanted him to be. And it was a sad thing that now that they're getting divorced, it looks like he's becoming the man she's always wanted him to become. And isn't that a common truth? Okay. Anyway, let's move on. This is a sad situation. I know a lot of us don't like Carissa, but divorce is sad regardless. Even if the people probably don't need to be together at all, it's still a sad situation. All right, next, Charity brings Mr. Shabazz to Calvary to talk with Phil, but Phil is too angry to hear any of it, okay? On top of that, it didn't help that Judy was there talking about, Daddy loves black people. Anyway, Phil doesn't believe that his mom would be involved in these shenanigans, so he tells Mr. Shabazz that he doesn't ever want to see his face again. So Charity says to Phil, I'm going to pray for you because only God can save you now. Then when Charity leaves, Judy says, I cannot wait until this building comes down. These people are like pigeons. They just keep coming back making noise. I don't get why they have to tear down the building anyway. Like, it's such a beautiful building. Even if they wanted to move on and do something else, can't they just use the same building? Anyway, it's just weird. Next, the family is outside to see Kerissa and Winky off, and Lady Mae takes this time to tell everyone about her affair with Lionel Jeffries, which Grace is a product of. Then she says that dinner will be served at 7:30 as if she didn't just drop a bomb, okay? So later, Gigi, Jacob, and Charity sit around talking about how Lady Mae has treated them over the years. Charity says that their life is really a plane crash and they are the survivors, and now that they know it, they don't have to live up to the standard of perfection. Wow. They also joked about how now they know where Gigi's light skin comes from, because Mama is light, but not that light. Then Grace gets a phone call from Darius, who let her know that one of the names Yusuf gave them panned out. He then says, I'm on my way to the house now. Can I see you? And Gigi tells him that she'll be right over. So when she arrives at Darius's house, there's no one there. She knocks on the door, no answer. She calls his phone, but it goes to voicemail. So then a strange car pulls up and this man gets out and he calls her by name. So she says, where's Darius? The guy says, come on, I'll take you to him. And he tries to grab Grace, and Grace says, don't touch me. So the guy tells her to be careful and that no one likes a squeaky wheel, so stay out of it. So he got in his car and he left. Thank God he didn't take Grace or anything, okay? And that was the episode, guys. So what the heck happened to Darius? And the one thing that I was thinking was, I really hope they didn't kill him, because that was just weird how he called Grace saying that he's on his way, and then all of a sudden this strange dude shows up, and what the heck was he gonna do with Grace also? Like, let me take you to him, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna start kidnapping folks all over the place? Like, what's going on? Is Bob really this serious? He's really trying to go this hard to cover up this Edenville lending crap. And then the thing about the Edenville lending is, you would think that there was a string of murders or something like that connected to it, the way they're trying to cover it up. They act like they're trying to cover up this big, huge crime. I mean, it is a crime that they took these people's money and they took their homes. I mean, that's a definite crime. And if that gets out, he will definitely lose the election. So I do get it. Now that it's coming out of my mouth and I'm letting it play back in my head, I do get it. But when they were talking about it like they're trying to cover up this story, they made me feel like it was something crazier than what it is, okay? But like I said, for the sake of politics, I do get it. All right, anyway, that was the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.